Alright guys, BLM here, back with a new video. In this video, I'll be doing another casting video, and this will kind of wrap up my Reality Showdown series, where I've done a casting The Amazing Race Reality Showdown 2. I've done a casting Survivor Reality Showdown. So here, we're going to do Big Brother Reality Showdown. Just like the other videos, I'll be casting a season of Big Brother, but using the theme of Reality Showdown, which is essentially getting people from Survivor, Big Brother, and Amazing Race to go on one show together. For this casting video, I will be casting 18 players, 6 from each show. Obviously, Big Brother's never had an 18-person cast technically, even though I think they should. And there was really no other way to split up the 3 shows. I mean, unless I wanted to unbalance number of people, which I didn't want to do, so I decided that was the best way to move forward. And each one of these shows have different dynamics when it comes to casting. So with The Amazing Race, you obviously had to find pairs, these people that could work together and try to balance out the teams that way. With Survivor, you had to balance out the tribes and also get people that you could see Survivor production actually wanting on Survivor. Here with Big Brother, it's a similar thing with you having to find people that Big Brother production would want, but there's no other restrictions outside of that. There's not really anything in terms of physical strength that you have to really think about or try to balance. So because of that, actually Big Brother ended up being a lot more difficult. With that limitation on Survivor and The Amazing Race, it actually limited the field a lot more. While here with Big Brother, I found that I had so many more options with who to put on the cast, and in turn it made it a bit more difficult to actually select people. Might as well get started. We're going to start it off with Survivor, kind of like my other videos. I did Survivor, Big Brother, then The Amazing Race. We're going to do the same thing here. So let's start with Survivor. Talk about some honorable mentions first. And there's a lot. There's a lot of honorable mentions. First up, I got Johnny Fairplay. I think Johnny Fairplay would have been a lot of fun. I think he's the type of person that would definitely want to do it. I just don't know how CBS as a whole feels about him right now, because I know for sure he will never be on Survivor ever again. But I don't know about Big Brother, but I decided to leave him off anyway. Considered Rupert. I mean, I think Rupert would be hilarious to see on Big Brother, just to see him bumbling around. But I decided that really, I just don't feel like Rupert's the type of person that they would want on Big Brother. I considered Mike Holloway, considering, I mean, 1, his girlfriend was on Big Brother, and 2, I think it would be interesting to see him play Big Brother. But at the end of the day, he just didn't really fit the cast. I considered Wendell, and Wendell's someone that I could legitimately see being on Big Brother. Between him and a certain other person that did make the cut, and we'll talk about that a bit later. I considered Michael Yerger, because I feel like Michael Yerger is the type of person that would definitely be on Big Brother. I think he's the type of person that they would definitely want. However, I decided to leave him off as I feel like there were more interesting versions of him from the other shows that I did put on instead. But, I mean, to be honest, Michael Yerger is not a bad choice for a Reality Showdown season, because I'm sure they would want him for Big Brother. Consider Christian. I think Christian's someone that I could see being on a Reality Showdown season. I just don't think he has the time for it. I did consider Dean, as Dean is, is essentially the more interesting Michael. But even then, I just felt like there were so many people in that archetype that he didn't make the cut. For the women, I did consider Jerry Manthe. I think she could have been like one of the iconic figures to be on Reality Showdown, but again, didn't really put her on. I considered Andrea. I just don't know if Andrea's willing to take 3 months off of her job to play Big Brother, but who knows. Same thing goes with Kelly Wentworth. I mean, I just don't really see Kelly Wentworth wanting to do Big Brother. I considered Michelle. I think Michelle would do Big Brother. I just feel like, again, archetype-wise, I don't feel like she fit the cast. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did do a season like this and did put Michelle on. I considered Nora, because Nora is someone that, again, I could see being on Big Brother, kind of the wacky, zany character. The same thing goes for Lauren Ashley Beck. I feel like she's another one that I could have seen on Big Brother. I feel like she seems like the type of person that they would want, but for me, didn't make the cut. But let's go on to the people that did make the cut for me. So from Survivor, on this Big Brother cast, I did put the first person, which I just think this would be just kind of ironic to see him on there. And I do think he would probably say yes, too, if he was asked, and that is Jervis. Blood versus Water, Jervis openly said to Hayden that this isn't Big Brother, this is Survivor. And I think it'll be just kind of ironic to see him on Big Brother now. And also him, and he was on the Survivor special that was on BB2. I mean, I think it would be fun to see Jervis on Big Brother. I think it would be fun. Again, it was between him and Wendell. I decided to go with Jervis for those reasons. That, and also I feel like Jervis is a more iconic Survivor figure to have on a season like this. Again, I've talked about this in my previous Reality Showdown videos, where I feel like they would want at least one iconic figure from each of these shows to be on the cast to kind of really promote. And I feel like having someone from the original season of Survivor on the Big Brother cast would be an interesting aspect to have, so I decided to put Jervis on. But really the bigger figure that I did put on the cast was Ozzy. And I mean, I personally don't really feel like I need to see Ozzy, but I feel like Ozzy's the type of person that they would cast for Big Brother. I feel like Ozzy's the type of person that would say yes to Big Brother. I mean, he's going to be good in challenges. He's going to be good at getting along with the single women. So, I mean, I feel like he's the type of guy that Big Brother would want. And the last guy I put on from Survivor, this one was tough because this one, I mean, it was between him and Michael Yerger. Obviously, Michael Yerger's the more stock sort of pick for Big Brother, but I actually decided to go with Adam Klein. Again, it was also between Adam and Nick. I just feel like Adam is the more dynamic character. I feel like they would want a over-the-top nerdy character on the show. And like, obviously, Christian is probably the best pick for this role, but I don't feel like Christian would be able to get the time off to play Big Brother. While, why not for Adam? I mean, again, what else is Adam doing? Let him play Big Brother. I'm sure he would say yes. And then for the women, I mean, I think the first one here, I think would be amazing if this happened. I put Abby Maria on the cast. I think Abby Maria on Big Brother would be incredible. I mean, just seeing obviously how she plays Survivor, how she was in the Survivor sequester game, I just feel like it'll be hilarious to see Abby playing Big Brother, so I put her on. This next person I think is a pretty stock pick for Big Brother if they were going to cast from Survivor, and that is Lauren O'Connell from Edge of Extinction. Again, she fits this like really attractive younger woman. I don't believe she's single, but again, kind of fits that sort of archetype that Big Brother would definitely look for. She's very athletic, very good at challenges. I see no reason why Lauren wouldn't be on a Big Brother cast. And the final person here from Survivor to go on Big Brother. This one was kind of tough because again, I think realistically, I think a Nora or a Lauren is probably a more realistic option. But for me personally, I would like to see Karishma play Big Brother. Because I think Karishma is someone that wasn't able to show her true game ability on Survivor because I just don't feel like Survivor is the game for her. But I think when we go to Big Brother, I feel like as shown in the Sequester mini that she played, where she played extremely well, playing obviously from home in a more not super physically intensive environment, I feel like that's the type of scenario I would like to see Karishma in, and I feel like that's more in line with Big Brother. I feel like Big Brother is just a game that's better suited for Karishma's skills, and because that, I would rather see Karishma on the cast. Again, I don't know if they would pick her over a couple other people, but I would personally like to see it, so I put her on my Reality Showdown cast. So that's it for Survivor. Now let's move on to Big Brother. So essentially these are going to be all-star candidates. And like my other like Amazing Race and Survivor Reality Showdown videos, when we're talking about the home show of these returning people, I don't want these people to be the best of the best. I don't want to pick the Dan, the Wills, the Derricks, the like all-time great players. I want to pick people who aren't that great of players. Now, they might be great characters and iconic characters, but in terms of their actual gameplay ability, I don't want them to be leaps and bounds over everyone else. So, again, let's talk about some honorable mentions. I did consider Kaser. I think Kaser would have been a great figure to have as like the legendary figure to come back for this, but I just felt like there was another one that was a lot more blatant. I consider Jeff Schroeder, kind of same thing. I mean, I don't want to see Jeff Schroeder back, but I do think he would definitely be in consideration. But I just don't really see Jeff being too incentivized to take away 3 months of his life to play Big Brother anymore, but who knows. I considered McCrae because McCrae seems like someone that production likes to always mention on things, like having him as a reference on a veto competition or whatnot, but again, didn't really make the cut for me. I would love to see Judd. I think Judd was fantastic on Sequester, and seeing him on Big Brother again would be a lot of fun, but it didn't make the cut. I considered Frankie Grande, but I don't feel like Frankie Grande really wants to play again. I mean, that's the sense that I get by the fact that he supposedly turned some things down. I considered Johnny Mac, and Johnny Mac was on my cast for a while, but to add a little bit more diversity, I decided to take him off. But again, Johnny Mac would be a fun returnee. I considered Victor, but to be honest, I don't need to see Victor play Big Brother again. I would much rather see him on Amazing Race again or something than on Big Brother. And then I considered Tyler, but Tyler, again, was too good of a player, in my opinion, to come back. And then for the women, I did consider Danielle Donato, but she kind of fits in the similar sort of archetype to one of the people that's already back, so she didn't make the cut. I considered Jen Johnson. I think that would be a lot of fun, but the women, to be honest, was pretty stacked here. I don't feel like there was really that many open spots. Brittany Haynes would have been fun, and I mean, I think Brittany, the problem there is, one, I don't know how incentivized she is to play Big Brother again, and also, just like my other Reality Showdown videos, I feel like she's too well connected. With all these Reality Showdown videos I ended up doing, there's like at least 2 people on the cast that are directly connected to her. So I did decide to leave her off, but I would personally like to see her back again, though. I considered Haley because I feel like Haley is the type of person that production would want to see back again, but I felt like the female picks were pretty stacked here. Same thing goes with Caitlyn. I feel like Caitlyn is someone that they would want back but didn't fit into a cast. I considered Nicole, and Nicole was very close to making it on, but again, for the sake of diversity, I took her off, but I don't think it's an unlikelihood to see her back for a season like this. So now on the actual cast, the people that I brought back here. So for the men, the first person I brought back was Donnie. And I feel like Donnie is, again, someone that production very clearly liked at the time of the season. I do think one of the bigger problems for him coming back at this point is that it's been years. Like, it's been a while since he's originally played at this point, but I do think he's still a likely returnee. I feel like for a Reality Showdown season, he's not too good of a player to come back either, so I felt like he fit. I did also put on Brett, and for me, Brett was kind of the more likable Michael Yerger. I mean, Michael Yerger is this generic white guy, but he's also a boring generic white guy, while I feel like Brett is a charismatic generic white guy, and I feel like that was better to me. I would rather see Brett on TV again, so for me, I put Brett on. And the last guy I put on the cast was Tommy from BB21. And again, I felt like when I looked at the cast, by the time I finished just doing it naturally, it felt like a very kind of blah cast, like a cast of a lot of the same sort of people. So I decided to add Tommy in there, a very like over-the-top, energetic guy, and someone that I do think production is pretty incentivized to bring back at some point down the road. And especially because like Frankie Grande doesn't seem like he's super into coming back, and I know a lot of fans wouldn't want to see him back. I felt like Tommy was kind of the better option there. And for the women, first person, again, the Big Brother icon of the bunch, and that is Janelle. I mean, I think Janelle is obviously one of the biggest legends in the history of Big Brother, but also someone that is willing to come back. I think she's someone that's always going to say yes if she's asked, and she's also someone that, to be honest, isn't that great of a player. I think she's someone that just doesn't fully grasp the game, and I feel like because of that makes her a pretty good person to bring back for a season like this. The next person I brought back was largely brought back due to I couldn't put Rachel back because, as implied by, I didn't want like too good of players back. I didn't put any winners, even though I wouldn't consider Rachel that great of a player, but I just decided to avoid winners in general for the Big Brother portion of it. So because there was no Rachel, I put Alyssa. And again, Alyssa's someone that production very clearly liked during her season. I mean, she's pretty much the only person it seemed production liked from her season. So I think Alyssa is someone that they would like to see back. I think Alyssa is someone that would probably say yes to a return. Now, I mean, really, could I have replaced Alyssa with other people? Probably. I mean, I could see Alyssa probably being swapped out for like maybe a Nicole, maybe a Haley, but it just didn't really feel like a real Reality Showdown season without a Riley sister in there, so I decided to put Alyssa on. And the last one I put on, again, another person that production very clearly likes. I just am a bit unsure of how much she wants to play again, but I decided to put her on anyway, and that is Davon. Again, Davon pretty clearly loved by production, and also, again, for diversity reasons, considering Big Brother doesn't have that many diverse, like, all-star candidates, in my opinion, I felt like Davon was the best option there. Another great character, someone that isn't, like, too good at the game or anything, so I thought she was a pretty perfect fit for this cast. And now for The Amazing Race, which was interesting. Again, I've always had trouble casting Amazing Race people as individuals because the show The Amazing Race is so fundamentally based around the relationship of the pairs that it's very tough to distinguish who's a good character on their own. Let's go through some honorable mentions. I did consider Mike White, as he's already been on Survivor and The Amazing Race, so why not do Big Brother as well? But from what I understand, he's done with reality TV, so I decided to leave him off. I really consider James with a Y, as I feel like he's the type of person that I could definitely see Big Brother casting. But I put someone else from The Amazing Race 21 onto the cast, so I decided to just leave James off because of that. I did consider Justin from The Amazing Race 27, as he's a big reality TV guy, and I did feel like he was a perfect fit for Survivor. However, for Big Brother, I just don't think he really fits within a Big Brother cast. He doesn't seem like the type of person that production would really want, so I didn't put him on. I did consider both Tyler and Corey, but I surprisingly didn't put either of them on. and that was, again, the kind of for archetype reasons. I feel like there were other people that fit their spot, but there was also just a lot of the Amazing Race 31 people already on this cast that I felt like putting them on would just overblow this cast with people from that season. So while I would like to see Tyler and Corey especially play Big Brother, I just didn't put him on. I did also consider Scott from The Amazing Race 29, as he seems like the type of person that would be good on both Survivor and Big Brother, but again, just due to the amount of spots, he didn't make the cut. Now for the women, there weren't really that many other people, to be honest, for the women from The Amazing Race, but I considered Haley from The Amazing Race 26, as I thought that would be pretty fun, but I just feel like she didn't really fit the cast that well. I also considered Jackie from The Amazing Race 26 and also from BB17, as I just thought it would be funny to have her back on Big Brother, but just like be listed as an Amazing Race player. And to be honest, she was on the cast initially, but I just felt like there was a better option there than Jackie, so she didn't make the cut. And I also considered Brooke from Brooke and Scott. I just felt like, again, the women's field here, I felt like by the time I got to her, I felt like it was pretty locked in. So let's get into the actual cast itself, starting with the men. First person here we got is Leo from Leo and Jamal. And I consider Jamal as well. And this was the tough thing with Survivor, is that for Survivor, like, which one would you pick on Survivor? As I didn't feel like there was really a reason to go one way or the other. However, with Big Brother, from what I understand, Leo is single. And I feel like that's the type of person that they would want. So I decided to go with Leo here. I think Leo is also, even taking that out of it, he's also a really fun character, a really dynamic character. Someone that would be really fun in the diary room. I just felt like for me, Leo fit into this cast pretty well, so I decided to put him on. Also from Team Fun, I decided to put on Floyd. And on the Survivor one, again, I put Becca on my Survivor cast. I decided to put Floyd on the Big Brother one here. Again, I feel like he's another one, just really fun character, really high energy, someone that I think Big Brother would be more incentivized to put on. And the final guy I put here was actually from The Amazing Race 30, and I don't even think I talked about him in my last Reality Showdown video, but I thought he would be an interesting fit for Big Brother, and that is Connor from The Amazing Race 30, someone that is, again, kind of the generic white guy, but again, a very charismatic one, a really fun one, and kind of similar to Brett. That was kind of the reason why I was kind of a bit iffy on putting him on, but Big Brother usually has multiple of these sort of people on, and why put a boring one like Michael Yerger on when you can have a more fun one like Connor on? Though I did consider Dean, but I just felt like there were more fits for the cast from the Survivor cast than there were for Amazing Race, so I decided to put Connor over Dean. Though, to be honest, realistically, I would rather see Dean play Big Brother than Connor play Big Brother, but I just felt like, just due to spreading out the shows equally and everything, like Connor made the cast while Dean didn't. And for the women here from The Amazing Race, this one's kind of funny. So, Amazing Race 21, I did decide to put Natalie Anderson on. Obviously, someone that did go ahead and play Survivor and win Survivor and then go on Winners at War and come in second. So, I did decide to put her on the cast, but I'm putting her on the Amazing Race try. Why not? Again, the Amazing Race, I just feel like just in general is a field that's smaller in terms of people I would like to see play other shows. So I felt like Natalie, to have her in the Amazing Race spot, took up an Amazing Race spot, made this a lot easier to make the cast that way than if she was on the Survivor group, which then I would have to cut, like Abby Maria or Karishma. It's like I didn't really want to do that. So I felt like this was the better option. And she's someone that's openly said that she wants to play Big Brother. So I mean, why would I not put her on? Also ended up playing Krista from The Amazing Race 27, again, someone that I would love to see on Big Brother, someone that was on Sequester and was really fun on Sequester. So I think she'll be just as fun on Big Brother. And I feel like she's the type of person that I could definitely see Big Brother casting. So she felt like a good fit here. And now for the final person on the cast. And for me, I just felt like they were going to pick someone that was a social media influencer to be on this cast. So why not take someone from the social media influencer cast of The Amazing Race? Also, there's not many single women on this cast, which is another thing that production would want. So I put Blair on The Amazing Race 28. She was someone that was very openly like flirty with people. She was someone that talked about flirting with people to get ahead, and Again, I feel like that's the type of person that Big Brother US would want. I think she just fits the type of archetype that Big Brother typically searches for, and that is kind of lacking on this cast as a whole. So for me, I decided to put her on. So there we go. That is my cast of Big Brother Reality Showdown. Let's go through it once again. So from Survivor, I have Jervis Peterson, I have Ozzie Luce, I have Adam Klein, I have Abby Maria Gomez, I have Lauren O'Connell, and I have Karishma Patel. From Big Brother, I have Donnie Thompson, I have Brett Robinson, I have Tommy Bracco, I have Janelle Pierzina, I have Alyssa Slater, and I have Davon Rogers. From The Amazing Race, I have Leo from Leo and Jamal, I have Floyd from Team Fun, I have Connor from Alex and Connor, I have Natalie from Natalie and Nadia, I have Krista from Tiffany and Krista, and I have Blair from Blair and Scott. So that's it for this Reality Showdown series, I guess. I mean, I didn't really plan it, to be too honest. I did the Amazing Race one entirely by itself, and I did the Survivor one. I was thinking, you know what, it'll just be fun to do a Big Brother one. But I do think these Reality Showdown seasons are things that I would like to see in the future. I think it's a really fun concept, and seeing all these players from other shows go on to Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, it'll be fun to see how those affect their style of gameplay, their character, and everything. Like, I just think it would be fun to see. But that's pretty much everything I gotta say. That's the video. That's my cast for Big Brother Reality Showdown. Thank you for watching.